Looks like the 49ers continue handing out them Gucci bags. That's right, Brock Purdy's deal is in check. Fred Warner's up next. Mike, you ready to get this BAM show started, baby?
You damn right.
Smash that like button. Let's go. What's going on, 49er mother-loving faithful? The BAM show is here on our scheduled Monday. And hey, Mike, how crazy, right, is it that the Niners, I don't know if this is disrespect or respect, and I got to get your take on it, but they waited till the BAM show ended on Friday and then broke the Brock Purdy news. So, is that a sign of respect of the BAM show, or were they with us? I'm just want to get your take.
Yeah, you know what, man? We gonna spin this in our favor. That was respect. They were like, yo, we can't announce this while they live. Nobody's gonna see it. Nobody's gonna know. So we gotta wait this joint out. We gotta wait until they finish, and then we can announce it so everybody will see it. Because otherwise, these guys going, So yeah, that's what that was.
Okay, that's why I asked, man. Shout out to the damn BAM crew, the Breezy Bunch in the live chat, popping off saying hello to us, Mike. It's good to have him in the building, 1,000%. But I kind of take it as a sign of disrespect because they know we like to break news. So, like, why couldn't they just send us the email, be like, listen, man, y'all got the live show going. Let everybody know we about to do this Brock Purdy thing. You know what I'm saying? And then bam, bam. Like bam, bam, bam. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, maybe just our networks aren't big enough. Like maybe we weren't the right team to send the breaking news too early, So it could be that, man. We got to work harder. That's all.
All right, we'll work harder. But listen, the 49ers released the information on Friday that Brock Purdy signed a 5-year extension, Mike. And I need to get your initial thoughts and takes on the deal. Because once Friday comes and we finish the show, I go rogue. Like, you don't hear from me because I got to switch the mode. So I got to go from podcasting, analyst mode to musician mode. Like, it's a hard switch too. Like, I can't be in between. I gotta flip the switch.
Yeah. So with me, it was I thought this was a safe deal for the 49ers, and I thought this was a secure deal for Brock Purdy. And as the details continue to roll out, I feel more and more justified in my initial reaction. The deal on face value wasn't record setting. You're not top 5. You're not number 1. You didn't beat the $60 million APY for Dak Prescott has, right? Because we're not just going to give out that kind of money. Number 2, Brock Purdy got some security, and then no trade clause that was announced today that we're finding out that's in there, right? So now y'all can't get rid of me. I'm guaranteed to get X amount of dollars over the first 3 years, X amount over the first 4 years, cash, right? We find out the 5th year, the last year of the deal, the 2030 year, it's only going to be a $30 million cap hit, right? Like, that means that the Niners did this shit the right way, like the really, really the right way. It wasn't one of those deals that's like all backloaded and everything. This is the stuff that Jed York was supposedly complaining about heading into this offseason. And so it looks like they did it the right way. I think this is secure for all parties involved. I think that the Niners, I think that when we find the real fine details of it, there's going to be an out in there after the 3rd year. And if Brock is declining, if Brock isn't who they thought he was, again, I keep saying this to everybody. This is Kyle's first time having a quarterback for 4 years. He didn't have it over there in Washington. He didn't have it in Arizona. In Atlanta. He didn't have it in Cleveland. And he dang sure hasn't had it here in San Francisco. This is his first time with a 4-year quarterback. And I think Kyle's going to look for this offense to take some steps forward. And if that's not what's happening, I don't think Kyle's going to be gun shy on pulling the trigger and getting another quarterback in here. I don't.
I like how you said that, right? Because I like when we talk about being with the click, click, boom. You know what I'm going to start doing? I realize I've been watching this person do these like cartoon videos about real stuff that happens. I can't remember his name, so I can't say his name. And he has certain terminology for things that may be derogatory. So instead of using the word like GUN, He calls it a pew pew. So I realized we're gonna start using words that make the word. So we're gonna be pew pewing. Boom! Like all throughout the season coming up. You feel me?
All right, let's get it. Yeah.
I'm thinking, we're two smart individuals. You know what I'm saying? We know how to use words. Our favorite rappers are the greatest wordplay people of all time. We know.
You ever written a rap? Come on, it was low hanging fruit. All I'm saying is similes should be easy for us to come up with.
First of all, I was just like that was a dumbass question, Mike. Like you guys, that was a dumb donkey question.
It was a lob. I was just putting it right by the rim. Just it's right. Just
the fact that you even asked it was like,
yeah, I'm sorry,
donkey
bro.
of the week. Donkey of the week. Donkey of the week. Hee-haw. That's what we're going to call an ass. All right, we're going to come up with a bunch of different terminologies for these words. So that way, we don't get flagged. But anyway, I like what you said, man. I think everything you said was spot on, right? I think it was definitely a deal for the team. It was a great deal for Brock. It's more money than this cat's ever seen in a lifetime. It's more money than he's ever going to see in a lifetime. I kind of feel like there's a slight pushback because you, on one part, you said that the team had an out after 3 years. Now, I know the bulk of his money, I know the bulk of his money is going to be in the first 3 years of the deal, because it's more of a front-loaded contract, a lot more cash up front. I think that's why Jay York wanted to stop spending a lot of cash so he could pay his quarterback and not have to worry about it with all this dead money later on down the line. But Purdy's no trade clause lets me know that the Niners won't easily be able to move on from him as if need be, right? I mean, they could cut him, but then they're going to eat money. We got to learn about the cap hits and all that type of stuff.
Well, so an out doesn't necessarily have to be a trade. You could release a player and just eat whatever's left over that's dead. And so that's what So I think that's when I say that I think there's going to be an out after the third year. I think that's what it's going to be. I think that 3 year, $161 million is pivotal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at that number, right? If you do 60 million, which is Dak Prescott's number, average, I'm just talking average, right? Mm-hmm. You get times 3, it's 180. So even if we have to eat that 161 after 3 years, it's still a steal compared to what the market is for quarterback.
It's a steal, but the market is dumb. And the market is dumb because you had a dumb owner making a dumbass deal for a quarterback that isn't.
Two dumbass owners with dumbass deals. Two dumb donkey owners with two dumb.
Who's the second dumb one? I'm sorry.
Shad. They just paid Trevor Lawrence mad money.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah, but you know what? When you look at his contract, it's only $2 more million than Brock. So it's not really. Is that really a dumb deal?
It's a dumb deal, and as far as what he's accomplished as a quarterback, that dude is not good. That team isn't good. They haven't done anything to establish, what they're looking for. So I just didn't understand the signing. I understand the extension, but again, the market is the market.
So I think again, you look at the signing and you say, okay, first round pick. Can he be is he the franchise player? Is he the franchise player? And it sounded like, yes, that was the franchise player that they were going to go with. And they continue to build him. And unfortunately for Trevor Lawrence, I think he's okay, but I think he'll get better if he can find a way to stay healthy. And when you look at Trevor Lawrence, you could say the same thing for Joe Burrow. What makes Joe Burrow great? Oh, I know. Jamar Chase.
Man, they've been to a Super Bowl. No, stop.
No. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and where have they been since? Same players, same quarterback.
What do you mean since? It was just a year ago.
It wasn't just a year ago. It was a few years ago. What are you talking about? This is about what have you done
for me
lately.
It was the season before.
It couldn't have been the season before because we were in it. So make that make sense. Okay. Now, like I said,
it was two. So I was right the first time. It was 2 seasons ago. Yes. So all right, three calendar years. If you start with September, 3 calendar years ago.
At the end of the day, you paid a player, got you to a Super Bowl, but can't find ways to stay healthy, right? Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So it's the same difference. Now that's why I feel like when you look at Joe Burrow, I don't care if he beat Patrick Mahomes. Who cares? He ain't win the Super Bowl.
Who cares? The AFC cares.
He didn't win the Super Bowl.
That part I don't care about. What I do care about is being able to get past the. You got to be able to get past the team to get us to the Super Bowl. It don't matter how many times have we beat Patrick Mahomes.
Because
0.
we were in the Super Bowl, Mike. You can't say don't give me that. They didn't even.
Wayne,
bro,
we lost to him in the regular season too, bro.
At the end of the day, Mike, Joe Burrow isn't that great. You take away his weapons, just like we say about Brock Purdy, he not good. What's the difference?
That's going to happen for 90% of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Sherlock.
That's not an excuse.
That's why I don't like that argument. But still, to me, he's just not. He doesn't do anything that's that great. He just doesn't. He doesn't sit there and win games. He doesn't have that ability. If he stands in the pocket and he's a clean pocket, he makes great plays.
So Joe Burrow available and Brock Purdy available for $1. Which one you taking?
I'm taking Brock Purdy.
Okay. All right. Okay.
What you mean? All right. Why I gotta be wrong? What's wrong with taking Brock Purdy?
Because we haven't seen a Brock Purdy team beat a Patrick Mahomes team. That's why.
So the only reason why you're taking Joe Burrow is because he beat the Patrick Mahomes team?
Yep.
Okay, so that means there's other quarterbacks in the league you would take over Brock Purdy that's beating Patrick Mahomes. It's not like Patrick Mahomes. Okay, so you'll take a guy like an Aiden O'Connell from the Raiders. They beat Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, stop it.
Get the fuck out. I'm dead serious, bro. Why I gotta stop?
Bro. Because you know there's more to it than that. There's more to it both ways. I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I completely understand what you're saying. But
I'm not saying Joe Burrow's a bad quarterback, but at $55 million, it's
Joe Burrow's a better quarterback than Brock Purdy is.
That's what you think. That's your prerogative.
That's what everybody thinks. That's not me. That's a consensus, bro.
But why?
Ask the people in the chat right now. Just ask the people in the chat.
Are you saying the only reason why he's better is because he beat Patrick Mahomes? Because show me where his numbers are better than Brock Purdy's.
That's one of the bigger reasons, though. I didn't say that was the only reason.
Show me where his numbers are better than Brock Purdy's.
I don't have his numbers. He's probably thrown for more yards than Brock Purdy every year except last year or the year before.
No, definitely not, because the cat's been injured a few years in his life, bro, like in his career. So it definitely wasn't every year.
So when you add apples to apples, give me a full season to him and give me a full season to Brock Purdy, I'm pretty sure Joe Burrow's numbers are better than Brock Purdy's. He's not coming out doing the 26 touchdown and 17 interception season.
But then you got to factor in everything Joe Burrow has. That's my point. You got to factor.
He's got a better arm. He's got better pocket presence.
He's got better ball placement. He has better talent coming out of college for sure. But he also inherited they built the offense around him. He had a better offensive line. Everything was better.
That's where it stops. That's where it stops.
You
right
mean
there.
to tell me
it's just the offensive line?
You mean to tell me Joe Burrow receivers weren't better than the 49ers receivers?
The Niners have a better roster than the offensive roster than what Joe Burrow has ever had.
I didn't say offensive roster, dumb nut. I said receivers. I made it specific.
And I'm still taking the Niners receivers over theirs. I'm still because what Debo did for this offense was way different than what Higgins ever did. Higgins just ran.
Debo did this with Jimmy Garoppolo, bro. What are we talking about here?
And he did it with Purdy.
He did not do it with Purdy. That's why he's not here. Everybody pissed off at Debo.
As well.
You know what? All right. I digress.
Y'all can have
y'all Joe Burrow. But I know for this, I don't think he would fit this offense, number one. And number two, I'll go with Brock Purdy. The processing is better. I'll take the processing over the talent of a Joe Burrow. That's just me, though.
Let me watch this. Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
If Brock Purdy had 6'2" route running wide receivers on the outside, do you think his numbers are better?
Probably.
Because Debo was more of a gimmick guy. I'll give you that. I was talking about what they did for the offense.
I'm just saying probably. You know what I mean?
So if you swap places, if you just take one quarterback and swap teams, which team do you think improves or gets worse?
I think the Bengals would improve because of Brock Purdy's processing.
What do you think happens to the Niners?
I don't think Burrow plays the game like Brock Purdy you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying it would get worse.
No.
I'm just saying I don't think he can play in Kyle's offense. Why is that bad? Why I don't think it's like Aaron Rodgers wouldn't fit this offense. Right? We want Aaron Rodgers, but
I don't know that. I don't know that if you give Aaron Rodgers, Christian McCaffrey, listen to me. I don't know that if you give
from his mindset, Mike, is what I'm saying. The way he the way he is, what's the word? Self-centered, egocentric. I think him and Kyle will clash. I feel like there's some of that in Burrow.
No,
what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. See that's new. That's new what you just said. I
It's
didn't.
not.
I
It's
don't.
not.
I
I'm
don't
not
peg
saying he's
Burrow as
not
that.
skilled. I'm just saying I don't think he would fit Kyle's offense. Now, if you put him on
I
a
think
different team,
right.
probably.
I,
Put him on the
right. I think.
Lions, he'll
But
kill.
I think if you put him in an offense as dynamic as this, where the running back can kill you for a full
Yeah, they
half,
don't. They have. They don't
and then
have
Brandon
that.
Ayuk can kill
But
you
they
for a
have.
half.
But
They
they have
don't.
better. But they have better receivers.
But just that. But just that.
Yeah, but
And
but
that's what I'm
but
saying. That
but but
this offense is more better. This offense is more balanced. I didn't mean to say more better. This offense is more balanced, right? Where we can kill you with the tight end. We can kill you for a whole game with the tight end, or we can kill you a whole game with the running back, or we can kill you with wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 when Debo was healthy and do it. Like this team has killers at every skill position outside the quarterback position. If you put Joe Burrow in a situation like that, it might not be I got to make Higgins and I got to make Chase look good.
but those
It's
guys,
not
it's not.
just that.
I don't think he makes them look good. I think they make him look good. That's my problem. That's the point.
And I think Brandon Ayuk and Pearsall and Debo make Purdy look good.
That's perfectly fine. But my point is, they are better at the position. If just think about it, we got the best tight end. If we went position, there's no way you could tell me that their receivers aren't better than our receivers. You said it. Well, you said they were. I don't agree with that. But they don't got a better tight end, and they don't have a better running back. That's it. There ain't no other skill positions to talk about. Them the 4.
So when you add up the 4, we're winning. Yes.
It's
Ayuk is
no.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Ayuk is at least better than Higgins. Yes.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean? Okay.
All right. I see where we at. I'm gonna let. It's cool.
we all right. All right. I mean, if you pull up the stuff that Higgins has done, they're both 1 and 2 wideouts. They're the same damn thing. Like you look at them, they both run routes. They both Higgins is a little bigger. Damn.
Oh shit. My bad. I think route for route, target for target, Brandon Ayuk is a better wide receiver than Higgins. It's not close, and it's not close.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. Hear what I said again.
I heard you. I heard you.
Route for route, target for target. I'm taking Ayuk over Higgins, and I'm not hesitating.
Okay, that's fair. I disagree. I think the Bengals have better wide receivers. Hence, I was trying to get T. Higgins, but he was going to cost too much.
Is Higgins good? Is Higgins good because of Chase the way that Jauan Jennings is good because
Higgins
of the rest of the
was
cast
there
here?
before Chase, and he was their number 1 wide receiver, and he proved it.
Yeah.
Chase comes, Higgins still remains that type of a target, bro.
Okay.
It's just you know what? But
I wish I was on my computer. I want to see what the chat is saying so bad. And I can't.
I'm not even paying attention. In the tight end room, in the running back room, clear hands down. Like, definitely set the table. If you say that Joe Burrow is better than Brock, cool beans. If I say Brock is better than Joe, cool beans. At this point, they should be a push. At this point, they both got to the Super Bowl and lost. If we're going to base it off that parameter, they both got to the game and they lost. But if you're going to give him the edge because he beat Patrick Mahomes, say less. I could dig it.
Okay, so the Mahomes things, I was just throwing that out there. Like I didn't know how deep you was gonna go into this, right?
I didn't expect to go this deep. I was just
really looking at the money. We should have been on Fred Warner already.
Yeah, I was looking at the money because it's like $2 million more than what Purdy's getting.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. But that's what makes this show raw and authentic. And like this is what we do, man. Like once the passion start coming, we're like, wait, what are you talking? You and I could hear both of us exercising restraint. Like we're not going to keep going, but like it's like I'm not going to let you get that off either. Though. Hold on, what you saying? So I like it. I love these shows.
So Mark says AJ Green was there in 2020. Chase got there in 2021. So Higgins was never their number 1. When AJ Green was there in his last year, he wasn't even good. So like
I don't remember his.
He might have been their all-time greatest receiver in Bengals history, but Higgins,
I think his point was that you said that Higgins was their number 1 before.
But I still feel like
Chase got
he
there.
was because Higgins took over that year. Like he was the guy that they were going to.
He had more targets and receptions than Green did.
I'll have
in
to
2020.
look all that stuff up. I just know Higgins made a name for himself his rookie year, and you could say it was because they still had AJ Green, but AJ Green was a shell of himself toward the end of his career.
For sure, as most greats are.
That I remember.
The end is the end for a reason, and it's because you became a shell of yourself. Like that's That's not a knock on AJ. Wayne is not hating on AJ at all.
No, never that. I say he was the greatest receiver in the history for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm trying to think of a different receiver that's better than at that time. TJ Huzmanzada, maybe? I don't know. I'm reaching. Chad Ochocinco, I'm still reaching. I feel like AJ Green was that guy. I know, right?
I really like Chad, but I think
Chad was good.
You know what it is?
I thought AJ Green was a better route runner. So if you're gonna chalk up, if you're gonna put the route runner, oh yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No,
yes, he was.
Not even close.
Yes, he was.
Not close.
Yes,
you can't listen to me. There's 4 wide receivers in the NFL history that were better route runners than Chad Johnson, and AJ Green is not one of them.
Okay,
AJ Green is not one of them. But hear me out. Aside from that, what it was the jump ball ability and the speed dynamic. Like AJ could beat you in multiple ways. Chad didn't have all that other stuff. Where Chad had to cook you with the footwork and the stutter step. And sometimes it took too long for his route to develop and for him to get open. And that's what made him a liability later on. But
wait. So if it took him too long to get open, that means he fucking sucked as a route runner.
No, that's not true. His routes, bro, listen to what I'm saying.
I'm hearing Chad, what you're saying, but you just
what I'm
said
saying is
that he couldn't
you line
get open.
Anybody up. Okay. Listen to me. You line anybody up across from Chad Johnson, and he is going to make them fall. He is going to make them stutter. But
I didn't say his footwork wasn't good.
His stem, it was just too long, especially towards the later end of his career. He had to do too many stutter steps and stops and goes and stuff.
Oh, because he started to slow down at that point.
Yes, towards the end. Yeah, right. And so AJ got to come in, be the young stud, and like just go. So that's what I'm saying. It's a little bit different.
Okay, so look, everybody agrees with you. Joe Burrow's better than Brock Purdy. So I hope Brock Purdy's listening so he can shut everybody the fuck up. That's what I can't wait.
I would love that. Hey, Brock, let me put that battery in your back, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. I like this Mark. Mark be on point. Mark don't ever tune into my afternoon show. AJ Green and Chad is pretty much the Jerry Rice and T.O. debate. And I like that because they both were dynamic receivers and they both were prime in their time, but they
weren't prime together. They were never prime together. That's a really good,
and they couldn't be prime together, unfortunately. Because I'm going to tell you what, when T.O. became a Niner, he was the number one guy in his head. But Jerry Rice was still here. And Jerry Rice let him know that you will never be number one until
never. As long as I'm on this, he had to go to the Raiders before T.O.
He went to 2 teams before that, dog. And he's still not number one. T.O., you like 8,000 yards shy, my brother.
Right.
George Kittle about to pass T.O. this season. Like,
that's
you know
crazy.
what I'm saying?
No, he's not. It's not. Is it that? Oh, and for 49ers, not career. Okay, yeah. I'm with you for Niners.
Yeah. So it's about to be crazy. Yo. It's really hard to have 2 wide receivers complement each other like that. But let's get to this defense, man, because we spent 22 minutes talking about. I like when we get into these arguments, but let's talk about the defense. And Fred Warner reports out there. Jennifer Lee Chan from NBC, 49ers NBC, said that the 2 teams, Fred Warner, 49ers, are close to a multi-year contract. It sounds like it's going to be a 3-year extension, in my opinion. He's the second longest tenured 49er that they drafted, right? Kittle 2017, Fred Warner 2018. He's an all-pro linebacker. Kittle's all-pro tight end. They extended George Kittle already. It's Fred Warner. He's going to get the extension, but I don't really care about the extension. I care about him being extended and being a part of this dynamic. Hopefully we can start creating some type of a dynasty. We got to win first. But is Fred Warner, Mike, the key to the D for Robert Saleh?
Damn. Absolutely.
You didn't let me finish.
Nope. There's no. Okay, it's so Fred Warner the key. You could have stopped right there.
I'm going to go on mute, and I'm going to let you have it. Because I want to know what makes Fred Warner the key.
Yeah.
And if you guys got keys to Fred, put them in the chat and I'll pull them up.
There's a lot of people out there right now that think that Fred Warner had a down year, that Fred Warner showed a lot of...
the All-Pro, huh?
Yeah. All of a sudden they think that Fred Warner's not Fred Warner. Maybe he's a little bit overrated. There was a lot of talk going on last year and the year before saying that Dre Greenlaw was a better linebacker than Fred Warner. There's a reason one's here and the other one's not. Okay? What happens is, in the absence of another really good guy in Dre Greenlaw, the main guy has to overcompensate All of a sudden, the main guy is the one that has to tell the backup linebacker and the other backup linebacker to his other side what to do and make sure they're doing it. And I got to watch you to make sure that you're in line with your target and your receiver over there, or your linebacker, or your running back, or your tight end, right? I got to make sure that you guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing before I can even go and think about doing my job. So when you see that kind of decline in play and production from a Fred Warner, it's not because he lost a step. Fred Warner was just a step. Those first 5 weeks of the season, Fred Warner was an MVP candidate. Those first couple of, and you know what was crazy about it? The Niners didn't look that good. He was just forcing. He was just forcing fumbles. He was everywhere on the field, East Coast to West Coast, sideline to sideline. That's what Fred Warner was doing. Is he the key to this defense and the success? Absolutely, hands down, without a second opinion. Like there's no question about it at all. This offense, this defense does not operate the way it's supposed to when Robert Saleh is back without Fred Warner and his leadership on that field. That is the quarterback of our defense. And if you think different, I would love to hear why. I would love to hear why. There is not another player as important to that defense than Fred Warner. And I love Diamador Lenore. I love we saw what this defense looked like without Nick Bosa, even though he was out there. We've seen this defense without any leaders in that secondary last year. Y'all thought Mooney Ward was a leader last year? Not me. He looked tapped out to me. I saw Diamador Lenore trying to take that mantle from him, but that wasn't enough. That's just one side of the field, bro. Mm-hmm. Fred Warner is that running gunner in the middle of the field, and he's going to put everybody in the right spot. The people in front of him, you watch Fred Warner before the snap. He walk up to the defensive lineman, those tackles, tapping them. Hey, give me a foot to the left. You watch Fred Warner talking to those safeties, talking to those corners. Hey, that's your guy. You need to be down here. That is the captain. That is the quarterback of our defense. He is absolutely the key to the success of this defense going forward. And if I'm Fred Warner, don't sign no 3-year deal, dog. Don't sign. How old is Fred Warner?
He is.
he is too old to be signing a 3-year deal. Don't, Fred. Don't do it.
Why not?
Fred, don't do it. Don't do it. No, absolutely not. Don't do it.
So
don't do
31 is too old?
Yes, 31 is too old for him to think he's going to go somewhere else and get another nice deal.
I don't think.
If I'm Fred,
I disagree with that.
Two. It's 2 or 4 and more. It's never 3. You're not, because 30 is the NFL's curse number. You're not going to get me in the 30 year and then get to get rid of me at 31. That's never happened. There's no way that's happening.
But I don't see that they'll get rid of him at 31 if he's still producing.
Bobby Wagner's on the what team
Commanders.
is he on?
He's on the Commanders.
Come on, bro. And he's producing too. Bobby Wagner was the top 5 linebacker this year.
So you're saying that because the Rams decided to walk away from him, or the Seahawks decided to walk away? I'm just curious.
The Seahawks and the Rams. I'm not playing pass around.
Because they chose not to pay the linebacker. But the 49ers currently, if you're saying that Fred Warner is the key to the defense, the 49ers currently let everybody know which one of the defensive positions is an important role. And it's the linebacker position, where the Rams don't value the linebacker position like others, and the Seahawks don't value the linebacker position. So I get what you're saying, but I just feel like if he's still producing at a high rate, this is probably one of those positions where, they'll draft players and they'll try to develop them. But if you draft a player and they not outbeating or outworking this older guy, like, I don't know if that's a problem with developing the young guys, or is the old guy just really putting out that content, like that pop, like he's still that dude. So I feel like a 3-year extension. What was Kittle's extension 3 years?
I don't know, and I don't care. I'm gonna tell you why.
He was older. That's why I asked.
Kittle came out of college older than Fred Warner came out of college.
That's true.
If I'm not mistaken. Right.
So you're saying from Fred Warner's perspective, don't sign the 3-year.
Yes.
Because he can get a new contract, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make it clear. Clear. But why? He can still get a new contract because there's going to be teams that are going to be willing to pay a Fred Warner, a Bobby Wagner. You're talking about
Bobby. You're right.
Because you're talking about, I feel like Bobby Wagner. People gonna be mad. 30,
no, you're right. I got you. 31-year-old Fred Warner can easily go to another team and get a really nice contract. I'm talking top 10 linebacker. He's not going to get number 1 because of his age. That's going to be over at that point.
Right. He got paid. He re-signed to the Commanders.
Right. But Fred Warner can go out at 31 and get decent money from another team. The issue is I don't want to go to another team. My family is here. I've got kids here now. I don't want to be shipped off somewhere else. And so when you put me in that limbo position at 31, no, make it so that I'm 32 at least 32, right? Because I want to be here for life. The contract is going to speak more to Fred's intentions than it is the Niners' intentions with him. That's where I'm at with it.
I wanted to read Oscar's comment. He says, Fred Warner is not the key. The key to the D is the pressures and the sacks. If anything, I was going to keep reading, but you had to put the chuckle in there, right? If anything, it starts at the overpay. I like Oscar, right? Because he just came in and then he hit you with the pew-pew. If anything, it starts at the overpaid Bosa and then Demo. Okay, first I got to ask you this. Is Bosa overpaid?
No.
Okay. So
no, Bosa's contract at the time was warranted. He was coming off a defensive player of the year. Like, let's not pretend he had a down year. Yes, absolutely. Right.
He's had back-to-back down years, in my opinion. But yeah,
absolutely. 100% sure. But he's had back-to-back years with bullshit defensive coordinators also. Right now,
1,000. But so did everybody else. So like that's
But before we continue, Robert Saleh only had 1 good year of sack production in his duration with the 49ers. Let's not pretend that the Robert Saleh-led defenses were predicated on sacks on the quarterback, because they were not. He got it 1 year, and that was when he had when he had Bosa and he had Ford. That was the only year that this team was decent at getting sacks. We are never a sack-leading team in the NFL. Ever. Don't confuse Bosa's 20-sack year with the Niners having a lot of sacks, because that was not the case. We were middle of the pack that year.
But that wasn't Robert Saleh. That wasn't under Saleh. That was under Ryan.
Yes, it was. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, because
when we had D Ford, Robert Saleh was the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, but that wasn't the year. That was his rookie year, and he didn't have 20 sacks his rookie year. He had double-digit sacks.
Oh, that's even worse then. That's kind of more my point, right? When Robert Saleh was here, it was never about sacks. It was never about sacks. It was about setting the edge, stopping the run, and then putting pressure on the quarterback to force early throws. It was never about sacks.
Correct. I agree with that. I'm not gonna disagree with that. I just feel like what Oscar's never about for me, it's about the sacks. We never get them though, and I'd be mad.
So how can y'all say it's about the sacks then say we never get them?
Because we don't really get the sacks. We get the pressures, but they don't finish. So they're disruptive. But where's the finishing?
So then it's about rushing the quarterback. It's not about sacks.
I'm just saying that's I want the sacks is what my point is. But we never get them because we always fall short of finishing. So to the big picture, no, it's not about the sacks. I said I want those to be the results, right? Every time we drop back, we want Bosa to get home. We want somebody to get the sack, right? Because it's a down, it's a tackle for a loss, it could be a fumble, whatever is going to put pressure on the offense to overcome what they just did and by making the mistake. But for some reason, the last few seasons, what I'm trying to say, Mike, is we be trying to get them sacks, but unfortunately, we don't get them. Like, you know what I mean? Now, your point is that the defense is all about setting the edge, and that's where Robert Saleh comes back, and that's what he did in this draft. Just look at the draft. Edge setters.
Boom.
Right?
That's the pew-pew. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't sound right when you say you got to put some more treble in your voice.
I didn't do it right. I didn't do it. Oh, it's got to be high.
Yeah, the pew-pew. I'm saying you got to go back to the 1980 cartoons.
Okay, I'll work on it.
But nah, seriously, like that. And to go back to what you saying about him being the key to the D, like, how is he not? Because he doesn't get the pressures in the sacks? It doesn't but if he's the one that's literally usually kind of like leading the team and tackling, people want to talk about his missed tackles last year. How many missed tackles, Mike, do you think Fred Warner had last year? Actually, you know what? Tell me this. Do you think Fred Warner had more missed tackles in 2024 or 2023?
I'm going to say 2023, and I have a reason for it.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I'm right or not, but in 2023, all year long, he was allowed to go out there and keep attempting those peanut punches and all that. Fred Warner stopped going for tackles the last 3 seasons. and he was focused on forcing turnovers. That peanut punch thing became a thing for him. And again, those first 4 weeks, I don't know if y'all remember, that's what I said. I said he was forcing turnovers in every single game for the first 5 weeks of the season, right? But then what happens is when you start missing those, when you start missing on those and you're not making the tackle, it was causing big plays, big gains by the opposing team. And so he didn't have a guy next to him that if I don't get this forced fumble, you come in and wrap him up and finish it off. He didn't have that this last year. And so I think that he had it in 2023. And then that allowed him to continue to try to make those peanut punch and forced fumbles. And so he probably had more missed tackles in 2023.
All right. So in 2024, Fred Warner had 18 missed tackles. So last season was 18 missed tackles. But here's the kicker to that. He only played he didn't even play 1,000 snaps. He finished 3 shy of 1,000 snaps.
So 997. Okay.
997. In 2023, he played 1,200 snaps, but he had 10 more missed tackles. Right? So 28 missed tackles in 2023. So he was worse in 2023, but he played almost 300 more snaps. Right. But the rate is higher. So at the end of the day, it's bad. Right?
So 2023 was worse when it comes to missed tackles. And again, because he was allowed to continue to try to force turnovers.
That could
where
be
at the end of this year, or at the end of last year, no Dre, and there was a whole lot of kerfuffle going on around him at the linebacker position, the guys in and out. Now you got to be forced to make tackles, bro. Fuck turnovers. We don't need, forget turnovers. We don't want you going out there trying to be that guy. We need you to make tackles, bro, because the defensive line ain't getting it done.
How many forced fumbles do you think he had in 2023 to 2024? Was it more?
2023, I say 6.
Was it more or less or the same? I'm not gonna give you the number, but just tell me if
I'm gonna say the same, because through the first 5 games he was doing it. He had 2 a game in the first 5, the first 2 or 3 games. He was going crazy.
It was the same.
I'm gonna say the same. Yeah, I'm gonna say the same.
And the number was 4. So 4.
Now imagine if it could have continued for the whole season. Mm-hmm. That's kind of my point. That's my entire point.
But that's not why those are the missed tackles, Mike. I think you missed the missed tackle. I think that's part of the missed tackling formula. I think the other part of the missed tackling formula is something you didn't bring to everybody's attention, is the simple fact that you talked about it earlier, and it's just him overcompensating. It's him being blocked by the offensive line. And nobody's talking about that, because if your defensive line can't motherfucking hold up the block and fill the hole to where I could come down there and play downhill, now you got an offensive lineman on a linebacker. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
If an offensive
linebacker that's formerly a safety.
If an offensive linebacker is, offensive linebacker. If an offensive line is on a linebacker and that offensive lineman don't win, get his ass off my team. He should be fired.
Right, exactly.
That's an automatic win. It's a mismatch. And so one of the reasons why he had a bunch of missed tackles was because he was getting to the hole later, trying to shed those blocks and things like that. Now, look, he also played injured last year. I don't know how much you want to factor that in with the ankle injury. But I feel like
he played hurt, not injured. There's a difference.
Injured. He played hurt, but I still feel like he's the key to the D. Pause. Because if take Fred Warner off the football field, who gonna run it?
I know who not. I know I'm not going to be one to watch it.
We ain't gonna have no choice.
I don't know who's going to do it, but it ain't going to be pretty. Okay, so the question should be this to everybody in the chat. Let's get these comments up right now.
Okay,
if not Fred Warner, then who? That's it. Y'all can Maki.
If not Fred Warner, if Fred Warner isn't out there, and I can tell you how I know Fred Warner is the key to the defense, and you said this earlier. They chose him over Dre Greenlaw. And I know he was under contract, but they made sure that he going to remain under contract because they about to pay him. They about to extend him, right? So that lets you know.
And I don't know if this deal gets done anytime soon, just so y'all know. There's no rush to get him because he's under contract next year also.
I think this is his last year, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not. I looked it up 2 nights, Friday night. I looked it up Friday night, 3 nights ago.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's got a whole other year under contract.
It's all about them softening the cap for this year. God forbid something happens. But so Wayne Tony G says put Tatum Bethune in there
as the
mic. As the mic. I mean, if you're going to play Fred Warner's position, that's the mic. So yeah, the key.
So what we do? Wait. So Fred's the Sam? He's the Will?
Let's go. I think we're doing hypotheticals because I think you asked if Fred Warner did not.
Oh, if not, well, okay, wait. So let me rephrase my question because that means I wasn't clear. Because that's not what I was saying. I was saying
that's what I meant. If Fred couldn't go, who playing the mic?
Oh, that's okay. So we meant two different things. I apologize.
Okay.
What my question was, if Fred Warner's not the key to the defense, then who is? Not if Fred can't go,
But that's
then
what
who
you said.
should?
Okay. All right.
I apologize. My question was, if Fred Warner's not the key
Oh,
to
well,
the
then they
defensive
said Nick
success,
Bosa. You had your Nick Bosa comments. You had your Demo comments. You had, those guys out there. Like, I think
that's what I want to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because let me tell y'all something. Demo, as good as he is, and he's a willing participant in the run defense, if a team can just run on us for 4 or 5 yards a pop,
oh, he out of the play. Yeah.
it's over. It don't matter what Demo's do. Demo could be the best tackling corner in the entire NFL, but if he's not getting to him until they 5-6 yards past the line of scrimmage, it's no good. So Demo can't be the key to a successful defense for the 49ers. He can't. He literally can't. He can't be.
See,
listen to this. As good as Darrelle Revis was, as good as Richard Sherman was in their prime, those guys are not the key to a defense. They might be the best player on a defense, and they're not the key.
Well, that's Oscar. So Oscar has the counter argument saying, well, then does that make, what if Fred Warner's the best player but not the key?
And I think it's the opposite. I'm not sure that Fred Warner's going to be the best
player, but Fred Warner's the key, right? Oh,
I think Diamador Lenore is more likely to be the best player on defense.
Okay.
Than Fred Warner, than Nick Bosa.
But I think the argument that Oscar presented because he talked about getting the pressures, which alleviates the coverage, right? Which helps the coverage. Excuse me, it helps the coverage, right?
The chat went up. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I can't. All I see is a number in my corner. It went from 49 comments to 102. The chat went up. I can't see the comments, but
says the keys to stopping the run and running the ball, right? So like, always stop the run, always run the ball. Those are the keys. Like, you know what I'm saying? We definitely know that those are keys to victory. It's funny because like if you said who's the best player on defense, it's hard for me not to say Fred Warner because I think he's the most cerebral. So I would feel like he's the best player and the key. Like, you know what I mean? Like for me, double, like best player and key. I mean, show me a guy who can play the run and stop coverage better than him. And you can't give me a cornerback because even though Diamador is decent and is good in the run game, he ain't Fred Warner. And he might be better in coverage, but I don't know. Fred can cover. My issue with Fred covering is he miscalculates the depth on some plays.
He takes some bad angles sometimes. He does. But that's not his fault. That's due to position responsibility.
That's due to scheme. Yep. And so there's overcompensation stuff happening there. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's overcompensation. Yep. Oh, damn. All right. I'm gonna take an extra few steps because I already know.
Yeah. Just in case that it's a play action play, but I got to play the run first. Right. And now, by the time I identify it's a pass, I'm out of position and I'm playing catch up already. Where Diamador Lenore don't have that. He don't have that issue. He don't have that issue. If a receiver is running a route in front of Demo, he's on that receiver no matter what.
Not at all. So top three players. Top three players on the 49ers defense. Go. In order.
Are we projecting?
No, who are your top three players?
This coming season?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're not talking all great all time.
Okay. I like this. I like this. Okay. All right. I'm going to go Fred Warner, Diamador Lenore, and CJ West.
Okay. I'm going to go Fred Warner, Nick Bosa.
Damn. I feel like a hater because I didn't say Nick Bosa, but.
And Diamador Lenore.
Damn, because Nick Bosa should have if CJ West has a good year.
Thinking about Diamador Lenore. I don't know what caused me to get a brain fart right there. I was kind of like stuck on your answer.
Well, because my thing is, I think that the defensive tackle position is going to have a really good step forward this year. I think we got two solid Alfred Collins and CJ West
and stopping the run, right?
Beasts. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's going to allow Nick Bosa to be Nick Bosa.
Yeah. So first and second down, they're keys to the run D. Right?
I like your answer better than mine. I'm going to stick with mine because I'm stubborn, but I like your answer better than mine.
I see the chat. We got Warner, Demo, Bosa. I feel like it's all the same players, just in different order. Fred, Bosa, Demo, Joe P and I agree. Niner faithful, Warner, Bosa, Demo. I feel like
it's all three levels.
Yeah,
it's all three levels.
It's the three levels which they made staples as pillars of the 49er defense. Go ahead.
I want to be clear, right? Bosa's success, as we've seen the last 2 years, is highly dependent on the rest of that defensive line.
Oh, 1,000%.
Bosa's not good. Bosa's not good without support. Oh, wait.
Well, no.
Bosa's not great. I'm taking it back. Bosa's not great.
But that's not on Bosa, bro. You talk about like the number one double, triple team player in the NFL, bro.
Right.
Like, damn, get him somebody that
some
can
help. Get
relieve the pressure. No pun intended, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Filthy wants to know, what about the number one draft pick, Mykel Williams? So Mike, what are your expectations? Because I feel like he's go ahead. What are your expectations for Mykel his rookie season?
I think if Mykel Williams can come out of this season with 5.5 or more sacks, it's A+. I think if he can come out of this season with about 35, 40 pressures, that's dope. That's only 2 a game. I'm only setting the bar at 2 pressures a game, by the way. All right. And I think if he could walk away with 60 tackles, phenomenal. But that doesn't mean that it's a failed experience with him, right? They're going to bring him in here for this wide 9. They moved him all over in Georgia. They moved him all over from his rookie year. If you watch his rookie year to his third year, the film is completely different on Mykel Williams. And so I don't know how the Niners plan to deploy him. I do know that they expect him to be effective against the run, period. Right? And sometimes that doesn't mean making the tackle. That means making sure that the running back doesn't get outside of the defensive line. That means funneling them back inside to the linebacker. So Mykel Williams won't get credited for that tackle. It might be a Bethune or it might be a Fred Warner. You know what I'm saying? But
his job is to set the edge, period.
That's kind of my point.
Whatever else you get from that is a bonus.
Boom. That's exactly it. That's
pew,
exactly.
pew.
He can come out here and pew. Oh wait, higher. Pew pew. Right. So it could be better, but not statistically showing up on paper. That's what it has to be.
I'm not even looking for double digits anywhere. If he gets them, I'm like, oh. But as far as setting the edge, I think that's my number one expectation for Mykel Williams. Not allowing the play to get outside of him and finding a way to be disruptive in the backfield. That's what he does. Like, that's him. That he's a disruptor. He's not a finisher.
Thank you.
He's a disruptor. He's not a finisher. So that's what I'm looking for. So and that's all of our draft picks. All of our defensive linemen are disruptors. Guys, there's a difference between being disruptive and being a finisher. Finishers are the guys that gets the sacks. I'm not expecting that to happen, but I think because of complementary football, we're going to have guys run into sacks, and they better make the tackle. My expectations is make the tackle for a loss. If it's a sack, Gucci. If it's a tackle for a loss for a running back, great. Either way, when you see a motherfucker come into them big-ass bare arms of yours, your big ass better be able to get him down on the football ground. I don't want to see no breaking tackles. Didn't see much of those in college. I don't expect to see them in the NFL. And I'm talking about all the defensive linemen, especially the rookies, right? Because that's why we drafted. That's why they went so heavily on the defensive line. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I like what we got going. I think Fred Warner is definitely going to be the key to this defense just moving forward. And the team this is Robert Saleh's guy. Are we missing that part? How many people tell me Robert Saleh, Nick Bosa fell into Saleh's lap, okay? Robert Saleh literally handpicked Fred Warner. And as much as y'all love Nick Martin, I trust Saleh with the linebackers. That lets me know that Fred Warner is the key to what Saleh is creating. And this is about Robert Saleh, his defense. He's back. Fred Warner was the key then. Fred Warner is going to be the key now. Mike, what a great show, bro. Love it. 1,000%. Love you 1,000%, man. You got something else you want to say before we jump off here?
No, I saw the comment that was up there that said they let go of Barrett.
Oh, yeah. Let me read that from Oscar. Thank you, Oscar, for putting that in the chat. Alex Barrett was waived today to make room for kicker Greg Joseph. The kicking competition will begin when OTAs begin. It's going to be Greg Joseph versus Jake Moody. Mike, you got your popcorn ready?
I got it ready, baby. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see it. But I want to say this, though. Barrett will be back.
Mike, breaking news! I want to see how long I can hold that, Mike. That was like 30 seconds. I felt like that was 30 seconds.
You did good.
ESPN sources 4-time All-Pro Bowl, All-Pro linebacker Fred Warner and the 49ers reached an agreement on 3 years, $63 million pew-pews. Woo! Contract extension that includes $56 million in guaranteed money that makes him the highest
Fred.
paid linebacker. It marks the second time in his 7th NFL career that Warner has landed a contract that makes him the league's highest paid linebacker. Let's go.
Where that round of applause?
Did you know I intentionally tried to stay on here late so that we can break news?
I know, because we talk pre-pro. We don't do a lot of pre-pro discussions, but one thing I asked was, hey, what's that 30 minutes looking like today? And It was like, all right, we'll see. We got a feeling something's coming, so we'll see. Bro, let me tell you, do I like that it was a 3-year deal? No, but you convinced me during this conversation that Fred should take a 3-year because Mike, he can get another one at 31. He'll still be really good. You convinced me of it when you said it. And I was like, damn, like it makes it. I was being stubborn, holding my ground. Like I can't just back off and be like, nah, you're wrong. But it does make sense. It does make sense.
Mike, the 49ers got the highest paid linebacker, the highest paid tight end,
second highest paid running back.
Yeah, because did Derrick Henry break the? Saquon Barkley broke the contract.
Barkley broke it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And I like it. We're not highest paid at every position. This is some relief.
Fullback. We got the highest paid fullback.
I thought Juice was playing for like $2.50.
No, they said that they brought Juice back at more than what they had him for in the contract. They said
they did.
I swear I don't know what his I don't know what his numbers were.
It was how much, Mike? How much for an order of ribs?
I'm not on.
You were supposed to say $250. Then I was gonna say $250 for just one rib.
That's a lot of money.
How much for some sauce? 50 cents.
Yo, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I don't know the fullback market, but if I'm not mistaken, he has consistently been the highest paid fullback. I know there was 1 year that he wasn't, just one in his 7-year tenure here with the 49ers. So, but I do think that Juice is back and being the highest paid. So that gives us the second highest paid left tackle. We have the second highest paid running back.
Okay.
We have the highest paid tight end.
We got the 7th highest paid quarterback.
The 7th highest paid quarterback.
Which
is
what you want to be in the least amount so you can continue to surround him with the weapons. Pew, pew.
Shout out to the Niners, man. Let's go.
You can't tell me the Niners ain't having the best offseason they've had in a long time.
Bro, they cooking. Bro, they cooking. You know what the best part about Fred Warner's deal is?
Everybody knows the lines from I'm going to get you, sucker, is making me feel great. Okay? They're making me feel great. You feel me?
Heck yeah.
Pour a little bit in my hand. No, that was when he asked for the soda, right?
Yo, you are wild, bro. You are wild. But
I gotta find it. I gotta find the movie, yo. I gotta watch the movie.
It's for free on YouTube right now. I just watched it like 3 days ago. I'm not kidding you. It's for free on YouTube. You can watch the whole movie. I'm gonna get you, sucker, for free on YouTube, bro. I forgot that. I forgot that my man was coming back from war.
Right.
I forgot he was coming back from war. But listen, here's the best thing about the Fred Warner deal: the percentage of the guarantee. You said it was 3 years, 63 million.
3 years.
51 of it was guaranteed.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get it back. 3 years, 63 million. 3 years, 56 guaranteed.
56. Okay. So that means that there's not going to be a heavy hit on the back end. The Niners
this is another front-loaded contract.
Yes. So
Cash.
Tony, if you're still watching, Tony G, if you're still out there, Tony has been damning and condemning the 49ers for these contracts that are real heavy at the back end. It's over, bro. It's over. Those days are behind us. Jed York said enough of that nonsense, enough of that BS. Like, let's pay these guys because they're good right now. I don't want to have to keep restructuring and reworking these guys' deals at the end here because it's the credit, the interest that we're paying on this credit and these loans is not worth it. Let's pay the cash while we got it. Let's go ahead and do what we got to do. That's what that tells me, man. That is crazy.
All right, before we dip up out of here, and I end the show with the best one-liner of all times. Mike, you ain't even got to say the outro. I'm going to end it with the best one-liner of all time. Mike, up next, Jauan Jennings. Do you think he's going to get a contract extension? I talked about this earlier on the Wayne Breezy show, but I want to hear from Mike Andrews. Do you feel like Jauan Jennings is up next?
No.
Do you care to share why? Or
he just signed a 2-year deal, and the Niners have invested a lot. Yeah, I know, but they've invested a lot at that position. Even this last draft, the draft before that, we had another first rounder, a fourth rounder. I don't see that being the way for him. And from what I'm hearing, there's another guy in camp right now that's looking pretty good. I just don't know that Jauan Jennings coming back here. It's not a knock on Jauan. It's not a reflection on his value to the team.
Slight difference, but go ahead. I got a slight difference to that.
It's not a reflection on Jauan and what he brings to the table. It's not a reflection on his value to the team. He deserves the money that he's going to get. I just don't think the Niners can afford to give it to him. Okay. I think that Jauan Jennings should go out there and get a 3-year, 4-year deal coming in somewhere around 48 to 50.
He's gonna be a Jacksonville Jaguar or something like that. Yeah. My thing is for Jauan, I think he's pricing himself out. If he would have got that 1,000 yards last year, he definitely would be pricing himself out going into this last year's deal. But he got really close. And I'm sorry, I think Jauan Jennings, with Brandon Ayuk being injured, is the best wide receiver on this team. And I think he's proven it, whether it's double coverage, whether it's man-to-man coverage, whether it's zone coverage. Like, he's proven he could be that guy without running the best routes, without being the fastest, with having the whole fucking world against him. He's proven he could be that dude. And I think he puts fear into these defenders out there, and I think the Niners know, but I just don't feel like they're going to pay 2 wide receivers again. I feel like they crossed that bridge once, and they're not going to do it again. Now, you know what it is, Mike? It's really up to Jauan Jennings. I think the Niners make him an offer, but that shit going to make him be like, you.
We got to get a pew pew word for that.
Right. I can't even think of one. I can't even think of one. Like, you know what I mean? I can't even think of one. I hope he does. I hope he will. But he's gonna go into this last year. I hope he's got some securities, like, to where, he could ball out and things happen. I hope the best for him. I hope he's a 1,000-yard wide receiver. I hope he leads the team in touchdowns. I hope he goes out there and earns that big contract. You talking a 7th-round pick that was cut?
Cut, brought back, fight his way through the rankings,
fight his way through, earn the tender, play off the tender, get the contract. I'm definitely rooting for a guy like that. But congratulations, Fred Warner is going to be a Niner for 3 more years, which I stated right here on the BAM show. Look, I'm not no Nostradamus, but Breezy know his shit. So does Mike Andrews. We'll be back on Friday. It's been nothing but good news all offseason. Mike, greatest one-liner of all time from a movie. Greatest one-liner of all time from a movie. Greatest one-liner of all time from a movie. Shout out to Sean Elder. You ready, Mike, before we dip up out of here? You ready? Got change for 100.
What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.